barbel?
Yeah, I'm coming, pal. Hello everybody and welcome to our guide to big fish river fishing. Now, we get loads of questions on this channel. How should I approach a river when big chub, big barbel are the target? So, I'm with Geordie here. We've come down to the River Trent at a lovely little stretch called Lady Pit Farm near East Stoke. It's actually on the Scunthorpe Amalgamated Anglers book, this one. So, we're going to talk you through every aspect of the approach, from finding the fish to how we tackle up and the bait we use to catch them. So stick with us, it should be a really good video.
So one thing that's absolutely vital with big fish river fishing is actually finding the fish. Now obviously today we're on the River Trent here at Lady Pit Farm and the water levels are really low, and as you can see I've actually got a pair of Polaroid sunglasses on, and what I like to do when I'm fishing for these big fish and trying to find them is just put them on and having a little walk along these stretches to try and find the fish. And sometimes, obviously the water's really low today, it's the middle of summer, sometimes you can actually just see the fish, and that's obviously a giveaway to where the actual the fish are, and that's where you want to fish, because some of it won't have fish in and some of it will. So obviously if you can see the fish, that's a good starter. And point number two really is look for the faster oxygenated water, especially in the summer. That seems to be where most of the bigger fish are hanging out, and obviously today we've picked this swim to start in here. It's obviously a lovely fast water, and we have actually seen a barbel from the top of the bank. So we're going to start here and give it a go, and what we can do is move around and try other spots, but we're going to try here first, and yeah, wish us luck.
Two other things that people often overlook, folks. First of all, you've got to be stealthy. These are wild, wary fish, so what you don't want to be doing is clattering about, dragging all your gear down, making a load of disturbance. Noise is important. The most important thing is vibration through the bank side. So what we've actually done today is set up at the top of the bank, and then we're going to bring everything down and start fishing. Now the second point with regard to that, all river fish tend to face into the flow. So if the water's coming down, they're facing up into it. So you can imagine here the fish will be facing upstream, which is why what we're going to actually do here is fish slightly downstream of where we're fishing. And then as the night goes on, if we don't get any bites here, or say we catch a few fish here and later on we want some more, we'll drop further downstream. So always be very stealthy getting down, and just keep in mind you'll be fishing slightly downstream of where you actually set up.
So the actual tackle we're going to be using today, obviously our swim here, it's not very wide, so we don't need a 15 foot rod. Today we've just got a 13 foot tip action rod. Quite a bit of power in it, that's important. We're going to be fishing in a bit of flow here today, and we don't want our bomb to actually move, and there's some snags in the water, there's some little clumps of like roots in the water further down the swim, and obviously we want a bit of power so we can actually get the fish away from them and land the fish quite comfortably. So a 12 to 13 foot powerful rod is what you want. This is actually an Aventus Guru rod, really nice rod, nice tip action on this one, and he's actually just got a 3 or 4 ounce tip in it, something nice and strong, something that's not going to bend over a million miles. That's really important. You want just a nice gentle but bend in the tip, which we'll show you when we're actually fishing. You don't want your rod absolutely bent round to the butt, because then you're not going to see your bites properly. So that's the rod, and the actual reel, a nice big pit style reel, something that just matches up to the rod. You can cast this a million miles, but we're not doing it for the actual casting distance today, we're doing it for the actual power. Now it's a really powerful reel to drag them fish away from snags and to land the fish nice and easily. So nice big reel to go with the big rod. And the actual line on the reel, this is 15-pound Gardner line. Again, durability, nice strong line. We don't want to be getting cut off on any snags, don't want to be losing any fish really. So we've just got 15-pound Gardner line, and this is absolutely bulletproofed, and it's not going to break basically. So that's that. I'm running down to the actual lead setup today, and we're going to start on a lead because we just want to cast out with pretty much a single hook bait, maybe feed a few just over the top, like nice, and take it nice and easy. We don't want to bosh in a massive feeder at the start and not be a load of fish in. We just feed in all different swims then. We just want a little lead, and basically with a little lead as well, we're just going to be nicking fish that are already there, already present in the swim, Not going to be giving them a million options to feed from, so a nice bomb is what we're going to be using. And it's important to actually read your swim here. Today we're on quite a powerful fast peg, and this is just a 2 ounce pear bomb, and a pear shape's really important for this. I think they lay nice and flat on the bottom, so they're not going to roll away. And obviously today we just want our bomb to actually be pinned in position. We don't want it rolling around, to be honest. So we've gone for a 2 ounce bomb when probably we could get around with like an ounce and it would just trundle along, but we don't want that today. We just want it to stay in position, and hopefully the fish will find our hook bait. So just a nice 2 ounce lead, just put in position with 2 gripper stops or super tight line stops, just either side of a swivel there, just to keep that bomb nice and bolt, basically a bolt effect, and we just have that nice and tight in position like so. And it's running down to probably, I'm going to say, a 4 foot hook length here. And this is just 021 power line. It's probably one of my favourite lines of all time, to be honest. A really bulletproof line again. Nice and durable. We don't want to be losing any big fish. So we're never ever going to get snapped on that, basically. So that's what we picked. And then we're down to a Drennan, what are we on, Tom?
Super Specialist, it's called.
A Drennan Super Specialist hook, as you can see. Nice thick hook. Something that's not going to bend. Got a lovely barb on it as well, which you're allowed on these rivers, and I just think that keeps the fish on. And where you're allowed, for me personally, I always like these big barbed hooks. So this is just a size 8 or a size 6 barbed Drennan hook, and obviously we've just got a little hair on there, just a little loop, and we're just going to basically hair rig some different baits and see how we're going on. But we're going to start on a little boilie and see how we go. So that's basically the tackle for today's session.
Right folks, here we go, the first cast of the day, and many people say this is the most important. So where are you going to throw it, Jord?
Well, I'm going to start just at about 3/4 of the way out, about 12 o'clock. And like I say, I might work down the peg as we go, so we can explore different water basically. So 12 o'clock, in line with that last little bit of bubbles over there. You see where it's still really nice and flowy, and then we're still going to be chucking in some depth by the look of it. So should we give it a go?
Let's see how we get on.
Right, we'll give it a little bit of an Under Armour. I've not done this in a while, so we'll give it a little.
Oh, that's perfect, perfect. Now, it'll be interesting to see how we get on. Now, one thing that we can't forget to do, Jord, is set that clutch, because we don't want to lose the rod.
There we are, we're all set.
We're all set, and you can see, he said about that tip, look how that's not really bent too far around at all. That's how you want it.
If it's bent too far round, you just don't see the indications as well. And you just put too much strain on your rod basically. With little bends like we've got here today, that's absolutely perfect, to be honest. So just trying to keep my eye on the rod at the same time, because these bites from these fish on these rivers can be vicious. So.
And they can also be quick, especially
on the first cast. On
your first cast of the day. So all we've got on the hook, we've got one of the Sensate boilies. And we're going to put just a couple of loose offerings in, aren't we, pal, we said?
Yeah, just a few.
But the theory, I do agree with Jord what he said. I think the truth is, if you were to pile in now particle baits to start with, you just pull all the wrong fish around your feeder. It's definitely an option we've got for later. We've got them with them, we've got hemp, we've got 4mm pellets, we've got all sorts of liquid attractants and powders which we can look at. I think that's on. Is your fish on there? Don't remember to tighten the drag back up, Jord. Wow. That's straight away. Is the fish on?
Yeah, fish on.
Fish on straight away. Wow. Now we've got to negate this bit of a snag, so it'll be interesting to see how Jord does this. That's a big fish.
A barbel.
That's a barbel straight away. First cast. Oh wow. Now there's some.
I'm going to pull it between the two islands.
So he's going to try and play it in between those two snags. I think he might have to get his feet wet here if he's not careful. I'm going to have to follow him with a net. Well, folks, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting a bite that quick. Oh. Let me just catch up. Don't forget, I'm not as old as you, pal.
One thing that's really important when you are playing these big fish is keeping your rod really high in the air. Because there is lots of snags and I like to dive down in it. What I'm trying to do here is just keep my rod nice and high and keep it out of the snags basically. And we've got a few to negotiate on this peg. I'm just going to go down here a little bit further.
You can see what we're trying to negotiate. You see where that is in the water.
Trying to get in there
Now that, oh wow, that's not happy. Now the fish in this stretch do go to about
we are actually in the snag.
15 or 16 pound they've been caught up, I think even bigger. Look how George's using that rod just to keep that pressure and keep that fish out the snag. Trying to run in. You can always change angles, and that's what George's doing there. Now that is, at the moment that's gone in, so what we're going to have to do is let a load of slack out now and see if it'll swim out.
Not ideal on the fish, is it? But
Pressure's on me.
it happens to everyone, doesn't it? And what you like to do when you are snagged up like this, like Tom's explained, just let the drag go off a little bit and let some slack line go out, because the fish can just swim out of the snags basically. So we're just going to give it a few seconds now. Hopefully the fish is going to swim out of the snags, and we quickly wind back into it, and hopefully it'll just be a little bit out of the snag. So we'll just give it a few seconds. Right, now we're going to wind back up to it now, and hopefully
It often works, this. Let's just
we've
see.
still definitely got the fish on here, guys. I can feel it. Well, maybe not now. No, definitely not now.
Oh no. I knew I should have had the first cast. Oh, Jord. Oh, Jord. Oh, no.
Cut it, Tom. Cut it. Oh, my foot's wet as well. Oh, no.
Right, folks, my go on the rod. Let's hope we have a bit more luck than poor old Jord. I'm going to go the same spot because it seems to work, that did. See what happens. I'll pay just a little bit of a bow out, no more than about 1.5 meters, 2 metres. The reason being, I just like that, ever such a slight bend in the tip. Still going to see the bite. I'm not too worried. If it wants to run downstream there, that's fine. It's just when it comes close, I think we'll be in trouble. So that's when I think I'm going to try and get above the fish. Nearly made George's mistake as well, not slapping this off. It can be absolutely savage bites at times, so you've got to be on your guard. But I am just going to feed another 2 or 3 of the halibut boilers. A little liner then, not really saw that, folks. That could have been a chub. There was a big movement on the rod anyway, something either ran into the line or even took the bait and didn't hook itself. It was a definite, no mistake in the proper bite. It's fish in the area though, it's a brilliant sign. We've lost one straight away, and then such a positive sign. So exciting this, I love it. You wonder what that was, that big movement. Was that a fish? Didn't quite hook itself, pulled the lead and not quite set the hook. It was a definite sort of, there's normally no mistake in a proper bite with this game. As I said, I'm not moving too far away from the rod though with the signs we've had up to now. And I don't want to leave the rod in too long either. I'm thinking probably 5-minute casts the way this is going. We're still also, while you're fishing any sort of river session, you're mapping the peg. Now one thing George said, which I think is right, if we lose the next fish, what we're going to do, we're going to move downstream so that we can actually play the fish and land them by that bit of an island there. Now that's another pluck on the line. There's a lot of fish there, I think. And they're definitely around the bait, around the lead. I was expecting a fast response. We often get a fast response at the start of the session, the first cast, the first couple of casts. But I wasn't expecting a bite as fast as Jordan got one then. But they do say with barbel fishing, they say, your first cast of the day is the most important, and also So your last cast as well. As you move into sort of darkness. You can't night fish this stretch. You can fish till dusk. That last cast as that light's dropping, always a good chance of a big one. So we've had 2 or 3 indications already on this, which makes me think there's an awful lot of fish here actually. We've had some big chub out of this stretch though, Jordan. I've had chub to £5 in the past, barbel to double figures. I'm just top down there, you can see there's a lot of fish here. Here's a tree. It's a Lady Pit Farm stretch, this folks. Scunthorpe Amalgamated Anglers. You can get yearbooks to apply. Not going to give it too much longer before we cast it, I think. I'm curious to know what's going off down there. I wouldn't mind casting a little bit further out. In fact, I'm going to have another little cast now. I just feel like I might chuck it a little bit further out. Just see what's happening with that hook bait. Yeah, the hook bait's fine. The covering of these boilies, sensate coated on them, just start to break down quite quick, so it's nice in that you have got a trail of attractant coming off. I wouldn't mind just putting it a shade further than last time, mate, this time. I might just let a little bit more line out, just where I'm standing. So I can see how long it is. Just a tiny bit further out. Yeah, no more than 1.5 meters of line out, that in there. And feed another couple of baits, not many. As I said, if we weren't getting any signs, if we weren't getting any signs at all now, I'd be thinking we need to maybe look at introducing some particles, a little feeder maybe, some hemp, micro pellets, and we'd be putting the halibut liquid on them. But that's not the situation we're in. We've had signs, we've lost a fish. Quite encouraging. So we'll keep rolling and we'll bring you another update when hopefully we get a bite. Oh.
Right, so we've had 4 or 5 casts now in this swim with that single boilie on, and unfortunately we lost one on the first cast. And we've had a few taps and stuff, but no more fish. So one little sneaky trick we like to do is just change the hook baits up, and we're actually just changing here to a little block of luncheon meat here that Tom's put some Fuka Sensate stuff on, and I've got to say, it does smell. It does really, really
halibut
smell.
Sensate, that
halibut Sensate
powder.
And fingers crossed we're going to catch one. And these barbel, they normally love like nice, smelly, big hook bait. So it's a nice chunk of meat, and we're just hair rigging them on with a baiting needle here. Just putting it on this little loop. We're just pulling them on like so. Like there, and we've just got a little stopper in my pocket which we're just going to put in there just to block it on. So I'm just going to put this needle down and just get this little stopper out that I've got in my pocket here. Unfortunately now I've got this Sensate smell in my pocket, which isn't ideal. But yeah, we just put this little stopper on. Bit fiddly to do. Just going to try and get this on. Just keep that meat on basically when we cast it out like so. You see, just into the meat a little bit now, but it is there. And yeah, we've got that nice block of meat on, and fingers crossed we're going to catch one.
But it's worth saying, George, isn't it? We're having this little cast now, but our little plan, if this doesn't fly around, is to move. So this is almost like, not last chance for this swim, but like, we've tried the hook bait, we can see fish topping down there.
Yeah.
So it is all part of a bit of a plan where we're...
Yeah. Also, we're pretty much casting to the same spot here, because there's only a little river, well, it's only a little river, little part of the trench, shall I say, and we've not got that many options to cast. Casting nice and short doesn't look very good, because obviously we've got that stump blocking the actual flow, so that's not going to draw any fish up, so we can only target that far bank. well, 3/4 to Far Bankish area, and we've had a few casts there now. And I think, to be honest, we've pretty much used it up. So we'll just have one more cast there with this piece of meat. You never know, we might catch one. Like so. I'll just put him down on the rest. Make sure we set that drag. I don't want to lose. This is Tom's rod we're fishing with today, so could do without buying a new rod for him. And yeah, I think this is going to be our last cast, unless, fingers crossed, that we do actually hook a fish. Like I say, we have had a few taps in the boilies, so it might just be a hook bait thing. And then we might love this piece of luncheon meat, so we'll give it a go. I feel like we'll know pretty fast. Like the few indications, the rattles, and the one bite we have had was really, really fast. So we should know pretty instant, to be honest. So I'm just going to stand next to the rod and watch it. Oh, see that little indication? Then see it then? Little rattles on the tip straight away. They could just be little chublets and all sorts of little fish, to be honest. We'll see.
How long want to give it? 5 minutes on this before we move?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes on this cast now before we move. Not very long at all. Obviously, we've just come on an evening here as well, and we want to make the most of the actual the time we've got. So moving quite quickly and being proactive can definitely be a positive. And also, the fish have given themselves away a little bit today, and we've got a little tree down there, and we've seen probably close to 10 fish top down there now, so that's obviously giving them away, that there's a few down there to have a go at. So I'm just having this last cast here, and then Tom's going to have the first cast in the next spot, and I really do think he's going to hook one, so fingers crossed for that. And we're just going to go out the same approach again, literally how we started here, single hook bait and just looking for a fish. And then if that doesn't work, like Tom's explained, we can put a feeder on, we can loose feeds and different baits and try and draw some fish in then. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, no, nothing's on. Probably just a little chub, to be honest, but I think that's going to be our last cast here. Should we move down there?
I think we
Give it a
should.
go?
Yeah.
Right, let's move down there.
Right, folks, I reckon this is the honey trap, this peg. It looks great, and we've caught here before, George, haven't we? Last year we had a great little run of fish from this spot, so I'm excited to be having the first chuck. Like we did down there, I'm actually just going to put 4 or 5 little free offerings in. It's in that main bit of flow. And let's see what happens. We've gone back to the boilie. I'm reluctant to chuck it down the peg here. I want to go just in front, probably about 1 o'clock, ever so slightly down. So let's just do that. Let's just drop it about there. And just feather that down slightly. Right, I don't even know whether we need to put this on the rest. It feels like one of them sort of swims this way you could almost see a bite straight away. Remember last year we had a few touch ledger in here, didn't we, George?
We did. We had a few chub, didn't we?
We did, but I'm going to put it on the rest because it's better for George to focus on, to make a nice film, and the GoPro set for it to be on the rest. So let's just see what's on there. All in the name of art, folks, all in the name of art.
Set the drag.
I don't know whether we'll need it here, we'll see. That's just gone down about a metre, but here, there was a lot of chub last year. Did we have any barbel? I'd like to catch a barbel tonight. I don't know whether we had any barbel here. I think
we did. We had a couple early on, I think, in this peg.
We definitely had chub. But you see, I'm not making excuses because we had a bite straight away that we lost, but it's hot weather. I don't think it's going to be easy, mate. It's not like last year, is it? The water was lower.
They were kind of trapped here last year, it felt a little bit.
Yeah, there's fish on that straight away. And the other thing, we haven't properly switched to a feed here, have we, and started feeding bait. And I think that's maybe what we need to do in a minute if this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe a chuck each on a bomb, what do you think? And then we'll start feeding some bait.
Sounds good to me.
And we've got a nice packed up tea as well. Jamie's done us a nice tea.
Oh, some sandwiches and some beers.
Oh.
Does it get any better?
There's something on it. Something sniffing about. The small fish there, aren't they? It's like that last meat bite, you know. I think that's probably a smaller chub, that. Or a very clever bait.
Oh.
That's odd.
Oh, is that on?
Oh.
Have we got one?
No, I haven't, no.
Oh dear, oh dear,
Bite, didn't it?
oh dear.
Right, okay. George's back on the rod.
Right.
His first cast in the honey trap. Let's see.
Can you go a bit further than you? Oh no, it's not the same now. I tell you what, it's not very deep there, is it?
No, I thought that. And it looks like there's a lot of depth and flow here. We could be going past them, Joe. What do you think?
It could be,
But we had a bite.
It just felt like they were tapping under that tree. Just let me drag just in case.
We've got a duck invasion. Oh, I hope we get one here. Feels right for one.
It does. But like we say, if we don't get one on this cast, it's definitely time to start to loose feed some bait here. Try and draw some fish in with some pellets.
Do you think loose feed more than put a feeder on?
I think with how shallow it is, maybe just try loose feeding or a feeder. It's up to you. I'll let you decide.
$1 million question. I think a feeder could be good. I've got some 4 mil halibut pellets, some hemp, and I'm going to put a load of that sensate juice on it.
Nice.
Halibut juice.
Should we make a little concoction?
A little cocktail, pal. I think probably stick with the boilies on the hook. I don't know the meat. Saying that, we had some fast bites on meat, didn't we? Oh, what's that? There's fish there. We're going to catch one here, surely.
Oh, see that then again?
Yeah, it just tells you, doesn't it, that these fish are not giving themselves up tonight. There's a lot of fish here, definitely. We've seen them jumping. We've lost a fish. We're missing indications that they're here. We're not catching them.
Normally when I do this kind of stance, I normally get one like that.
Or is that the stance, pal?
Hands on hip, kind of.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout and all that. Yeah. I think it's a great stance for an angler, pal.
Cheers, mate.
Looking very Australasian with that hat
on.
Yeah, mate.
I'm doing a bit of wild fishing, aren't I? I've had to come a little bit Australian, mate. Come on, the barbels. Ooh.
Can't blank out the best river in England, can we?
There is somebody coming there.
Is there?
Oh, we had a look at the spot. Now. Yeah, I think next chuck, Tom, feeder, bait, and then we're going to go tick, big chub.
I'm not being greedy, but I wouldn't mind a £10 barbel.
I wouldn't mind a £10 barbel.
Oh. So you can see, folks, already we're moving, we're changing baits, we're thinking about changing tactics, and this is often what you have to do when you're after these big river fish. It's definitely not, I don't think anyway, one of those things where you can just camp out and hope for success. You've got to be prepared to adapt, don't you, George?
I agree. Especially where it's only so narrow here. I feel like moving about, trying different things is definitely the way forward. But we've started on this little bomb to try and catch one nice and fast, really, and to be honest, it did work, to be fair. We did hook on first chuck, but it hasn't worked since, so now we need to move to a different game plan altogether. Tom, I'm rolling.
Fantastic, right. My turn. I am making a change, a very serious change. We'll start putting some of this stuff through the feeder. This is micro halibut pellets, hemp, sensate powder and sensate halibut liquid. Lots of particles. No live bait, so or nothing that, I'm hoping nothing that's going to attract the wrong fish like bleak or little dace or anything like that. I'm also changing the up bait, folks. I've gone back to meat. Just trying everything really to try and get a bite. We know the fish are here. It's just going to be a case of fooling one. And I think as we go through the night, our chances are just going to get better and better because that light's dropping. We can fish for another couple of hours. It's only 7 o'clock. There's a chance yet. So there she goes. I reckon that is worth it.
You reckon you're going to get one there?
Yeah, I'm sure I am. And that's confidence for you, pal. Let's see. What happened last time to your boiler, by the way, now, pal?
My boilie had nibbled on a chub, I reckon, had nibbled on my boilie. That's not what you want to happen, is it, Tom?
Well, it's part of it. I mean, this meat, though, it does tell me the fact that there is this number of small fish there. I'm not believing this inland because I think we know there's a lot of chubs there. You could scale down, but the danger is, mate, with all your lost one crystal snags, start scaling down to catch chub. I think you're potentially going to end up in a world of pain, don't you?
I think so, yeah. I think we need to keep... Oh, was that an indication?
Yeah, there's fish there on that straight
Just
away.
zoom in on him then. Tell you what, these cameras are good, aren't they?
Let's just see. Fingers crossed.
Is that a fish?
I think it is a fish. Bloody hell. Or an otter. Wow.
What is it, a barbel?
No, no, what it is. Someone just jumped out under that tree.
They have a lot of chub, don't they? Shoulder chub under that tree.
Yeah, it feels right for one, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do they go for flies?
Yeah, I think so. We've had a, last time I chucked them and joined a boiler and it come back out with half a boiler. It makes you think of chub, doesn't it? We've got a big old piece of meat on this time though, and nothing.
A lot of people look to roll.
Well folks, I had a good bite on the meat, but again we haven't converted, so we've gone back on George's go to a boilie, but with the feeder this time as well, with the particles. Hopefully something to pull the fish into the area. Now, I just get a feeling this doesn't work. We need to change the approach totally, and I'm going to put a much lighter, shorter hook length on for my go. I think I'm going to shorten that hook length by about a foot. And I might put a little piece of meat on.
There's some chub about, isn't there, I feel?
I think there is. We know they're here, we've seen them. We're moving to the right time of day. I'm just so reluctant. Experience tells me we were to scale down, you know, we're moving to the best time of the day. That's when you're up your barbel and you're in trouble. So you've got to keep the faith a bit, George, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Just keep the faith a little bit. I'm sure they'll come. We've seen that many jump around us now. But they're just giving themselves away. They're definitely in our area. They're little ducks, to be fair. They're not barbel. But they have been topping and stuff. Even under the tree since we've been fishing here, we've seen signs of the fish. So we just need to keep the faith now. But I do think if we keep getting these little taps on these, what I think are little chub, shorten that hook length right down, and that might catch us. That might catch us a fish or two.
It's interesting, we were just talking to somebody and he's been fishing here as well, and he said he's a regular down here and he's not seen a single other angler down here today, which tells you it's fishing hard down here. This is one of the most prolific bits of the Trent, really. So
yeah, it's been brilliant to us in the past, hasn't it? We've caught a few fish around here before, so yeah. I've probably caught a 5 to 6 pound chub here before.
We had one on film, we catching a 5 or 6 pound chub last year, didn't we?
Literally on the drop, I think.
But the other thing is, we both said it looks a bit different this year, and it definitely has changed a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, the rain and the floods, they've just moved the landscape around a little bit, haven't they? Like this stump here, I don't think it was this close to the actual where I'm fishing.
No.
Last time I came here, so yeah, everything just slightly changed a little bit. The fish are definitely still here. Like when I got the Polaroids on, I could see them under the water. I've seen them jumping around. The fish are still here, but it is definitely fishing a little bit harder. Maybe it's got a little bit too much water on or something for this stretch. I'm not sure, so I still think we're going to get some. We're still going to get into some, surely, if they go.
There's plenty of time when we're moving into the best part of the day, mate.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Right, folks, we've just hooked another barbel. Now, I'll explain where we are and why we're here very shortly.
Well.
Yeah, I know. You just concentrate on not losing that fish. Right, let's get this net, folks. We've moved back to the original spot, and I'll tell you why in a moment. We're just about to do a little video on our decision as to why. But basically, we've come to the conclusion that the topography of this bit of water has changed a lot since last year when we came. As we're casting into what was the best peg, that sort of shallow peg round there, we found we were getting a lot of signs of small fish. Now, we weren't getting that in the deeper water. We were getting little twitches and movements. And I said to George, what do you think we should do? And he suggested trying, first of all we tried the feeder, then we tried meat on the same line, and then we both sort of thought that moving back upstream to where we were, where the water was a bit deeper, would be the way to go. So We're on the boilie with this one on
We were
meat.
just on the boilie, still on a feeder.
So we're still on a feeder, on the boilie.
On a boilie.
And we were just actually moaning a bit. We're just doing a bit of moaning, weren't we, pal?
We were saying, why can't we catch one of these fish? Because they've been topping around us. But I think hopefully now we've worked it out. Like, we've gone to the same spot where we hooked the first one. We've got a feeder on. I think just we need to be a bit more patient. I think before we were trying to rush it a little bit, weren't we? And I think now we've settled down, being a bit more patient. We left this in for a little while.
We've learned our lesson as to where to land, haven't we? I know it
Yeah.
sounds mad, but you have got to learn from these mistakes, haven't
You
you?
have. Obviously, we've come way past now the...
So we stood where we were fishing last time you saw us, even though where we hooked the fish was where you first saw us fishing. So we've walked right down to this stump.
Yeah, way past all the...
Oh, that's a lovely fish, Joe. That's £5 or £6.
£5, I'm saying. You know what? He's most welcome. He is.
It's a big, well, it's a nice barbel, isn't it, for anybody who's never caught a big river fish before. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's amazing. They fight so hard, barbel. They give such a good battle. Just a brilliant fish to catch.
It's not big
here. It's hard to play them, isn't it? You just have to take your time. Keep that rod up. You don't want to dive down. Like barbel love to keep diving down. He snags all the time. So keeping that rod up in the air just stops them diving down. It's hard to land them in the. Obviously, we're fishing really fast flow here, just off the rod end, so they do take a little bit longer just to land than normal. But just take your time, and eventually they'll give up. Normally with barbel as well, like they come to the top, and you think you're going to net them first time, and you never ever end up netting them first time. Normally, you have to let them completely tire out, and then you'll get them. Like this one, it's just really deep under your feet, and barbel love to do that.
Oh, that's a lovely fish. That's a lovely fish. Look at him. Oh, they're not just the most beautiful river fish going. Look, you can see that boilie just hanging out of its mouth. Wow.
Perfect. Brilliant. What a day.
What a start. So now, what we're going to do, folks, we're going to unhook the fish, give them a little rest, because they do tire themselves out. They give everything in the fight, these fish. So a little rest, and then we'll show them you.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Look at that. Look at the boilie in its mouth. See the boilie?
Oh, yes.
Focusing on the boilie, Tom.
Yeah. Hold them up for us. Well, mate, cheers.
Cheers.
We've got one. And I must be honest, I would say I didn't doubt it, but I was starting to, because we fished for probably an hour and 20 then. And there's fish crashing everywhere. It's evident there's so many fish in this little bit of river, but they're just not feeding. Talking to a couple of anglers who walked off, and you know, they hadn't caught anything today. Some have been here all day. Yeah, it was looking a bit iffy, but I think we read the water right in moving back up here, don't you?
We did. You actually said it. We tried a few different things down the swim there, didn't we? Like different hook baits and changed to a feeder, shorter hook lengths, just to see, because we were getting a few taps. But to be honest, I think those taps were just very small fish, and fish...
They were. You actually sussed it by
catch.
chucking... You chucked a couple of handfuls of the particle mixture with the hemp, the micras, with that sensate liquid and powdering into the edge, and there were bleak and little dace eating it. And we were just getting these little daft indications on the feeder. And up here, all of a sudden, we're seeing proper fish top. And I said to George, this is the only place we hooked a proper fish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Came back up, first cast again, interestingly enough.
Unbelievable. Yeah, within a minute, really. The same kind of thing. Like
we were just about to do a piece on moving and wallop.
Literally caught one straight away, so... We're off the mark. It's about £5, wasn't he? A little nice barbel. We'll take anything, any barbel.
Well, we said we're going to catch a big river fish, we've caught one. So everything from now on is a bonus. But hopefully, we'll get another go.
Yeah.
We're sat down now, we're being much more patient. We're probably going to go, what do you reckon, 10-minute chucks to start with?
Be nice and patient now, because our fast approach just wasn't really working. And we're pretty settled on this swim now. We've had one, lost one.
Both the bites have been on a boilie as well. So
both bites been on a boilie.
We're stuck on the sensate boilies.
Yeah.
Meat can be one of the best barbel baits going, can't it?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit later in the season. But it's always worth taking with you, I think, don't you?
Yeah. Meat can be brilliant. Meat can be brilliant. The only concern I have today is the little fish plucking at it, to be honest. But we might end up trying it again today, even, you know, as the light fades and stuff. Or if we have 2 or 3 casts on this, then we can go back to trying a piece of meat. So... But for now, obviously, we've caught that last fish on a feeder with the boilie on.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Another one out there waiting for us.
Fingers crossed. Le barbel. Le barbel.
Mid-sandwich break, George.
Mid-sandwich. We were just eating our sandwiches. Cheese and onion. Cheese and pickle. Look at him run, people. Look at him run. I moved the landing net down for him, ready. And yeah, like I say, our tactics there were paying off, obviously. 2 in 2 chucks now. What's happened?
Can't work it out at the moment.
Something is going on.
No.
What?
Is that what it was? Was it weed? This is obviously like really soft soil, all this, isn't it? Like sort of.
Barbel.
Yeah, I'm coming, pal.
Whoa.
Thank it. Oh no, not the GoPro over. Fish number 2, and it should have been my go, but I've been getting down and sorting the GoPro out. The rod's been ripped round. Jordan's always been lucky. I'm not care what anybody says. It's another good fish. Let's see what it is. Oh, this is my fish, you devil.
You can have it if you want. I think it's in the far bank at the minute.
Is it? Kited hard, it's in the far bank. Is it coming?
Not at the minute. It's still on. We're still doing okay. It's still moving, look.
Oh yeah, it's on, it's on.
Yeah, we should have it in the... We're okay now.
It's out, isn't it?
I've got your go somehow, Tom. I'm lucky. You were messing around with the GoPro.
George didn't set the GoPro up properly. I climbed down to sort it out. And Crocodile Dundee here.
Hey?
Well, I'll tell you what, I will take it. I will.
Oh, you will be well, will.
Come on. Fair's fair.
He's actually in a snag.
He's not in a snag.
It's a very heavy fish.
That's what I mean. So I will have it.
In a snag. You can have it now if you want.
Thank you.
It was in a snag. Just be careful. Don't lose this, Tom.
Oh, George,
Oh.
whether it's got your attention or not, I haven't lost any yet, unlike you, pal.
How many have you actually hooked apart from a clump of weed?
None.
Oh. So we're on fish number 2/3, because Tom did think he had a fish on last cast, everyone. Which I do have the footage of, thankfully. Tom did play a clump of weed for a minute earlier. But this is his first fish now. No pressure, no pressure. It's a big one, this is, by the way. I'm going to put it out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a big fish, that one.
Could be 8 or 9 pounds, that good.
Would that make it bigger than mine?
Significantly. Oh. It's lovely though, isn't it? What a joy. And finally we've managed to find out where they are. It's similar size to yours, I'm saying, George.
Is it?
Yeah. 6-7 pounds. And again on the boilie.
That boilie's doing its magic, isn't it?
You never do this with barbel. That is foul up barbel, that.
You're joking.
That is foul up under the fin. That is unbelievable. That tells you
Is that why it's fighting so hard?
Yeah. It's foul up.
That's unbelievable.
That never happens. I'm not going to get a photo with it.
You don't deserve a photo with it.
No, one because look, it's giving everything to the front. It is in the. You can see the body underneath its fin.
Oh no, Tom. You just can't get the presentation like I can you?
It's a beautiful cast, wasn't it? But,
It was a beautiful cast.
wow, you don't. That just tells you that these fish will sink or not. Not feeding it.
I've never seen a foul barbel on a feeder, I don't think.
It very rarely happens because they have to hook themselves with that much force. I think that just tells you how many are here, doesn't it?
It does. It does. There's a lot of fish here. So this one, no photo of this one, Tom. Foul upped him.
What's that all about? Never done this before.
Ever in your life?
Should have let you have it, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should have.
Farmer, really, isn't it?
Tried to make yourself look good, catching a barbel.
Well, it was my fish.
Shows it happens to us all, doesn't it? You're right, Tom.
You ever see the barbel come in like that, George?
I can't say I've zoomed in on it too much, to be honest.
Literally, bless it. It's sort of...
You got it, though. Have you got it? He's still giving a good account for himself, isn't he?
He is.
Oh.
Some pressure on that, I tell you. I don't think I've ever met him.
Oh, no.
I've never met a barbel like this before, but you can't quite get its head above itself.
Yes, you got him.
Oh, tired now, isn't he? He's not as tired as him. He needs a little rest, bless him.
He does need a rest. He does need a rest.
So I'll look barbel. What's the chance?
Beautiful.
We've just had another bite, as you can tell. Run down. Oh, that's another nice barbel for George. And we seem to have settled into a bit of a rhythm of catching fish now. Why? Combination of factors. I think we've definitely sussed the right place to fish, i.e. in that slightly deeper water. And we are, so we're getting regular bites. It's pretty much a fisher chuck now.
Brilliant now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've fished out, we've worked out where to cast, but also I think it's time of day. You know, we're moving into the, oh, look at that, another beautiful fish. This one, not foul hooked, unlike my last effort. But this is probably only sort of, what would it be, George, 25 minutes later? We've had 2 casts since then, have we?
Yeah, probably 20 minutes. I look at him.
Oh, absolutely. Beautiful. That's another great barbel. Probably £5 or £6. So again, we're going to give him a little rest, and then we'll slip him back. And the next cast might be our last, and it's my turn, so we'll see if I can catch another one. Right, folks, unfortunately, we've probably come into the last 10 minutes of the session. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? We've had
fantastic, really.
3 barbel on a really tough night. As I said, people have been coming down who fished all day and said they've really, really struggled. So I think 3 fish tonight's been a great result.
Success, yeah. It's been
Great
good.
result. That one we lost, frustrating. The fact that I fouled up one, that's mad.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, you never do that.
No.
That's the first time I've ever done that on a river, and it just goes to show that these fish aren't really feeding, doesn't it? Really? But I think key lessons that we've learnt tonight. Obviously, you just got to keep on moving and read the water. That's so important. And the weird thing is, and I'm guessing this is the same for all rivers, but never take anything for granted. We fished this peg last year and it was totally different.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And we're talking to that guy who came down and he said there's actually been a little bit of a landslide. And some sort of water come off the fields, and you can see if you just turn the phone around, and we can do it while we're filming, but put a little cutaway. The other side there, let's show them that soft earth all down there, George. That sort of, see where the GoPro is, like down there. You put your foot on that, and that's all that topsoil that slid in. So you can see it's all moved. And I'm guessing that will have definitely affected the swim as well out there, because I mean, it was never that shallow under that tree last year, was it?
No, it felt deeper, didn't it? So
we caught a lot of fish there last year.
Caught a lot of fish there this last year, but it's not been right today. Obviously, we started here, hooked one straight away on that bomb. Oh,
well, that was an indication.
We had an indication there, folks.
Might be nice to get a lucky last, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice to get one on this last little cast.
Oh.
But yeah, we had one straight away on that bomb, with a single hook bait on the boilie in this spot. We had one straight away, and then we gave it a few more chucks, and we were going to be proactive. So we changed to meat hook baits, and then that didn't really work. And we tried to move spots straight away to try and make the most of the evening, really. We didn't feel like we were on the fish. We moved down there, didn't we? We tried to cast towards a tree down there. And I just don't think, it was just rubbish. We just didn't.
There were a lot of smaller fish there, weren't there?
It felt
and they were
like
giving
it.
almost indications. At first we thought they were big fish. It soon worked out they weren't. And moving back up here has been brilliant. We've had 2 now, haven't we?
3?
Yeah, 3 in total. But yeah. But I mean, we've also had a few more signs, and I think, you know, if we could sit here another hour,
I think it would just get better and better.
Yeah, it would get better and better. But sadly, I'm just going to show you the bait. We're actually running out now. We've only got 2 of our boilies left. We're probably a bit too gung-ho in what we threw in earlier, but these have been in, folks, and they're dead cheap. They're only, I think, $2.99 a bag. But they've been brilliant tonight, haven't they?
They've been really, really good, yeah. They have been the hook bait. We tried meat, haven't we, and that was no good.
Yeah, we tried. We even tried a small pellet, didn't we?
We did.
In terms of what I've fed, I've just got these from Angling Direct, Advanta, black micras. Mixed them 50-50 with hemp, and I've covered the whole lot with some of this stuff that David Preston sent me to have a play with. Some of the halibut sensate powder and the halibut liquid, and it just goes into this nice sort of black thing, and that just sticks in your feeder quite nicely actually, and then obviously washes out along the bottom, which is nice. And yeah, I mean, very, very interesting night. Hopefully you've learnt a few bits. I know I certainly have, and it's just great to be back on the river.
It's just great, isn't it? We've just come out for a little evening session, little evening film, and we've caught 3 barbel. I mean, can't ask for much more than that, really.
You can't, and it's nearly time for a pint on the way home.
I think so.
Oh, well, a little nod then. Is it
Fingers crossed for this
bite?
last cast.
Let's see. Yeah, if we get another bite, we'll
show it.
We'll show it. But thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, just get them in the comments.
Thanks.